Sometimes, life feels like an endless storm. People insult you, situations test your patience, and no matter what you do, the chaos never seems to end. But what if I told you that you could remain completely unaffected? That no matter what life throws at you, you could stand firm, calm, centered, and unshaken. Today, we're diving deep into the wisdom of Buddhism, uncovering the secrets to emotional invincibility. These principles will not only help you master your emotions, but will also teach you how to turn negativity into strength, detach from toxic influences, and transform every challenge into an opportunity for growth. Let's begin. When someone insults you, your first reaction might be to feel hurt, angry, or defensive. But what if you could turn that insult into an opportunity? Imagine if, instead of taking offense, you saw it as a test of patience and resilience. The truth is, insults often say more about the person delivering them than about you. They reflect the other person's state of mind, their frustration, insecurity, or pain. The next time someone insults you, don't react. Pause. Breathe. Ask yourself, what can I learn from this moment? Maybe it's a lesson in self-control, a chance to practice patience, or an opportunity to develop compassion for those who are suffering. Each insult is a hidden opportunity to strengthen your inner armor. The moment you stop reacting to negativity, you take back your power. But how do you protect yourself from the harsh words of others? The answer is simple. Never let someone else's words dictate your emotions. Your emotions belong to you, and only you can control them. If someone criticizes you, remember, their words do not define you. They are simply an opinion, shaped by their own experiences and biases. By detaching yourself from external judgment, you gain freedom. True peace comes when you realize that no one can make you feel inferior without your permission. Instead of reacting, ask yourself, why do their words bother me? Often, the answer lies in our own insecurities. Recognizing this is the first step to overcoming them. Now, here's a principle that will change the way you interact with the world. Demand excellence from yourself, but offer grace to others. Hold yourself to the highest standard. Strive to be disciplined, kind, and wise. But don't expect the same from others. Everyone is on their own journey. When someone makes a mistake, instead of judging or criticizing, offer them understanding. Compassion does not make you weak. It makes you wise. A person who demands perfection from others will always be disappointed. But a person who balances high personal standards with empathy creates harmony in their life. Every interaction you have, good or bad, is an opportunity to grow. Transform every conversation into a lesson. Even if someone is rude or unkind, ask yourself, what can I learn from this? Maybe it's patience, the art of letting go, or simply recognizing the impermanence of emotions. When you view life this way, no situation can ever make you feel like a victim. Challenges become lessons. Negativity turns into growth. The moment you start seeing difficulties as stepping stones, life transforms into a never-ending journey of wisdom. Emotions are temporary. They come and go, like waves in the ocean. One moment you're angry, the next, you're at peace. One moment, you're sad, and then the feeling fades. The problem isn't emotions, it's attachment to emotions. The next time you feel overwhelmed, remind yourself, this feeling is temporary. It will pass. Imagine emotions as clouds drifting across the sky. You are not the cloud. You are the sky itself, vast and unshaken. By learning to observe emotions instead of becoming them, you build unshakable resilience. Here's a truth that can make you invincible. No one can hurt you unless you allow them to. The only person who decides whether you suffer is you. If someone betrays you, insults you, or treats you unfairly, you have a choice. You can allow their actions to affect your inner peace, or you can remain unmoved. Emotional invincibility isn't about shutting down. It's about mastering your inner world. The moment you take full responsibility for your reactions, you become untouchable. But there's another key to inner peace: acceptance. Many people suffer because they resist reality. They wish things were different. They fight against what already is. But resistance creates suffering. Acceptance, on the other hand, sets you free. It doesn't mean you stop striving for a better life. It means you stop being at war with reality. When you accept what is, you stop wasting energy on frustration. Instead, you focus on what you can control. And that's where real power lies. Detachment is one of the most powerful principles in Buddhism. Yet, it's often misunderstood. It doesn't mean you stop caring. It doesn't mean becoming cold or indifferent. True detachment means loving deeply while remaining emotionally free. It means engaging fully in life without being controlled by external outcomes. When you stop attaching your happiness to things, people, or achievements, you become free. Imagine being able to enjoy success without fearing failure. Imagine loving someone deeply, yet not being dependent on their validation. That is the power of detachment. But you can't cultivate strength without self-care. Many people see self-care as selfish, but it's the opposite. You cannot give to others if you are empty inside. Taking care of yourself, your mind, your body, your spirit, is not a luxury. It is a necessity. Eat well. Rest. Meditate. Set boundaries. Know when to say no. And most importantly, surround yourself with people and environments that uplift your soul. A well-cared-for mind is a powerful mind. Finally, one of the most transformative tools you can cultivate is gratitude. Gratitude shifts your entire mindset. It moves you from a state of scarcity to abundance, from resentment to peace. Every challenge you face holds a lesson, and every day you are alive is a gift. When you start focusing on what you have instead of what you lack, your entire reality shifts. And the more grateful you are, the more life gives you to be grateful for. These 10 principles aren't just words. They are a path to absolute emotional freedom. The moment you master them, nothing will ever shake you again. No insult, no hardship, no challenge will ever disturb your peace. You will walk through life unshaken, invincible, and truly free. Imagine walking through life with an unshakable sense of peace, where nothing can disturb your inner world. No matter what happens around you, you remain centered, untouchable by negativity, unmoved by chaos. This is not just a fantasy. It is a reality that can be achieved when you understand and apply the principles of emotional mastery. One of the greatest lessons in Buddhism is that suffering comes from within, not from the outside world. It is not the events in our lives that cause suffering, but our reaction to them. The person who insults you does not create pain. Your attachment to their words does. The failure you experience does not break you. Your resistance to it does. The moment you realize that pain is not caused by external events, but by your attachment to them, you become free. Detachment is not about indifference. It is about freedom from emotional slavery. Imagine a person who constantly needs validation to feel happy. They thrive when praised, But the moment criticism comes, they collapse. This is the prison of attachment, where your emotions are controlled by what others think, say, or do. True detachment means that your happiness is not tied to anyone or anything outside of you. You are no longer a puppet of the world. You become the master of your inner state. But how do you practice detachment in everyday life? Start by observing your emotional reactions. The next time you feel upset, pause and ask yourself, am I upset because of the situation or because of my attachment to how I think things should be? This simple question shifts your perspective. It makes you realize that most of your suffering comes from expectations, not reality itself. Another powerful practice is letting go of control. Many people live in constant stress because they try to control everything: situations, people, outcomes. But here's the truth. Control is an illusion. You cannot control how people treat you, what they say, or how life unfolds. What you can control is how you respond. The more you let go, the lighter you feel. Now, let's talk about silence. Silence is one of the most powerful tools in emotional mastery. In today's world, people rush to respond, defend, and argue. But a truly wise person knows that silence is strength. The next time someone tries to provoke you, try remaining silent. Watch how powerful it feels to not react. When you do not give energy to negativity, it loses its power over you. But silence is not just about avoiding arguments. It is also about inner stillness. In moments of anxiety or stress, practice sitting in complete silence. No phone, no distractions, just you and your breath. Observe your thoughts without judging them. With time, you will realize that you are not your thoughts. You are the observer of them. This realization is life-changing. It means that no matter how chaotic your mind gets, you are always separate from that chaos. A person who masters their inner world is untouchable. They can walk through fire and remain cool. They can lose everything and still feel complete. This is because their sense of peace comes from within, not from people, possessions, or circumstances. But let's go deeper. What does it truly mean to be free? Freedom is not just about physical independence. True freedom is emotional independence, the ability to remain calm and unshaken no matter what happens. When you are emotionally independent, you do not need approval to feel worthy. You do not need success to feel whole. You do not need a perfect life to be happy. You realize that you are already enough, just as you are. And yet, most people live in a constant state of seeking. Seeking happiness, seeking success, seeking validation. But the more you seek, the more you reinforce the idea that something is missing. The secret is this: stop seeking and start being. Instead of chasing happiness, realize that happiness is found in the present moment. Instead of chasing love, become love. Instead of chasing peace, cultivate it within. Now, think about the most powerful people in history, not the ones who controlled nations, but the ones who controlled themselves. The Buddha, the sages, the masters of wisdom. What made them so powerful? It wasn't their external achievements. It was their mastery over the self. They had something that no amount of money or fame could buy: an unshakable inner world. Imagine being so mentally strong that nothing could disturb you. Insults bounce off you. Failures do not shake you. Loss does not break you. This is the power of emotional mastery, and it is available to you right now if you are willing to train your mind. Training the mind is like training the body. It requires daily discipline. Just as you would exercise your body to build strength, you must exercise your mind to build resilience. Meditation, mindfulness, detachment. These are your mental workouts. Every day that you practice, you become stronger. Every day that you choose peace over reaction, you grow. And one day, without even realizing it, you will wake up and find that nothing disturbs you anymore. But strength is not just about stillness. It is also about action. Buddhism teaches that wisdom without action is incomplete. It is not enough to simply understand these principles. You must live them. When someone insults you, practice detachment. When you feel overwhelmed, practice silence. When life throws challenges your way, practice acceptance. These small, daily actions compound over time, shaping you into a person of immense power and peace. Here's a secret most people never realize. The world is a mirror. Whatever energy you put out, you receive back. If you are constantly angry, you will attract anger. If you are constantly fearful, you will attract fear. But if you cultivate peace within, the world around you begins to reflect that peace. This is why some people seem to live in constant chaos, while others seem to glide through life with ease. They are creating their reality from the inside out. So, the question is, what kind of reality do you want to create? Do you want to be at the mercy of emotions, or do you want to master them? Do you want to be controlled by the world, or do you want to shape it? The choice is yours. And it begins with mastering your mind. The path to inner peace is not complicated, but it requires commitment. It requires a deep, unwavering decision that you will no longer be ruled by external circumstances, that you will no longer let the actions of others determine your peace, that you will become so strong inside that nothing, not insults, not failures, not hardships, can shake you. And when you reach that point, something incredible happens. Life becomes effortless. Struggles lose their weight. Challenges become exciting. You begin to flow with life instead of fighting against it. And in that state, you are truly free. This is the power of emotional mastery, and it is available to you right now. All you have to do is choose it. The journey to mastering your emotions is not about becoming numb or indifferent. It's about becoming so powerful within yourself that nothing external can shake you. It's about cultivating a mindset where peace is your natural state, where no insult, failure, or hardship can pull you away from your center. But to reach this level of unshakable peace, you must first understand something profound. Everything in life is temporary. Your emotions, your struggles, your victories, your pain, they all come and go like waves on the ocean. When you resist this truth, you suffer. But when you embrace it, you become free. Think about the moments in your life that once consumed you. Times when you felt lost, betrayed, or broken. At that moment, it felt like the pain would never end. But now looking back, you see that it passed. It always does. And this is why wisdom lies in not clinging to anything, neither joy nor pain. When you accept the impermanence of everything, you stop being controlled by fleeting emotions. This brings us to a principle that will change your life. Non-attachment does not mean not caring. It means not clinging. It means loving without possession, succeeding without ego, and experiencing life without fear of loss. A person who masters non-attachment enjoys everything but is owned by nothing. They can experience love without needing someone to complete them. They can enjoy success without fearing failure. So, zrение, отражение потеряно. Your mind is the same. When you are constantly engaged in distractions, constantly seeking external validation, you cannot see yourself clearly. But in solitude, when the noise fades, the reflection becomes clear. Ask yourself, what would happen if you stopped searching for happiness outside of yourself? What if, instead of fearing solitude, you embraced it? What if the thing you have been avoiding is the very thing that will set you free? Imagine waking up one morning and realizing that you no longer feel the need to prove yourself to anyone, that you no longer seek approval, that you no longer depend on others to feel whole. Imagine the strength of knowing that no matter what happens in the outside world, your inner world remains unshaken. This is not an impossible dream. This is something you can cultivate step by step by shifting your perspective, by learning to love your own presence, by seeing solitude not as loneliness, but as an opportunity for growth. Take a deep breath. Let go of the fear. Let go of the need for constant validation. Allow yourself to be still, to listen, to discover who you are beneath the noise. And in that discovery, you will find something unexpected, peace. Because peace was never something you had to search for. It was always within you, waiting for you to come home to yourself. There comes a moment when you must ask yourself, who are you when there is no one to impress? When the noise of the world fades, when the expectations of others no longer shape your decisions, when there is no validation to chase, no approval to seek, who remains? This is the question solitude forces you to confront. And for many, the answer is unsettling. Because when you strip away the roles you play, the masks you wear, the identities you have built based on how others perceive you, what is left? The mind resists this question because it doesn't want to face the possibility that without these external things, it feels empty. But Buddhism teaches that this emptiness is not a loss. It is an invitation. It is space to finally meet yourself, to finally understand who you are beyond the world's expectations. Most people fear solitude because they have never learned how to be with themselves. They see stillness as a void, something that must be filled with distractions, with entertainment, with the presence of others. But solitude is not an absence. It is an opportunity. It is a space where you can listen to the voice that has been drowned out by the world. It is a chance to explore the depths of your mind, to uncover the parts of yourself that have been ignored, to reconnect with something real, something beyond the fleeting noise of daily life. Imagine sitting in an empty room, no phone, no music, no distractions. For many, this thought alone brings discomfort. The need to check something, to reach for something, to fill the silence becomes overwhelming. But why? Why does the mind resist stillness so strongly? Because in stillness, the truth arises. And the truth is, most people have spent so long running from themselves that they no longer know how to sit in their own presence. But what if you could change this? What if, instead of avoiding solitude, you leaned into it? What if, instead of fearing stillness, you saw it as a gift? Buddhism teaches that the greatest wisdom comes not from external knowledge, but from self-awareness. And self-awareness can only be cultivated in the quiet, in the moments where there is nothing to distract you from yourself. The first step in embracing solitude is shifting your mindset. Stop seeing it as loneliness. Loneliness is a craving for something outside of yourself. Solitude is the fulfillment of realizing that you are enough as you are. Loneliness comes from dependence on people, on validation, on external things to bring you peace. Solitude is freedom. It is the realization that everything you need is already within you. But how do you reach this understanding? How do you transform solitude from something you endure into something you embrace? The key is to stop running. Instead of filling every moment with distractions, create space for self-reflection. Start small. Set aside time each day to be alone, without distractions. Go for a walk without your phone. Sit in silence and observe your thoughts. Write in a journal, not to document your day, but to explore your mind. Ask yourself questions you have never taken the time to answer. Who am I beyond my achievements? Beyond my relationships? Beyond what others expect of me? These questions are uncomfortable because they force you to look beyond the surface. They force you to confront the reality that you may not fully know yourself. But this is not something to fear. It is something to embrace. Because the moment you begin to understand yourself, the moment you stop defining your worth based on external things, you gain something most people never will: true freedom. Imagine a tree standing alone. They can live fully without being enslaved by the past or the future. One of the biggest causes of suffering is attachment to expectations. We expect people to treat us a certain way. We expect life to go as planned. And when reality doesn't match our expectations, we suffer. The solution: detach from expectations and embrace what is. This doesn't mean you stop striving for success or meaningful relationships. It means you stop clinging to outcomes. You do your best, but you accept whatever happens with grace. Here's an exercise. The next time something doesn't go as planned, instead of reacting with frustration, pause. Take a deep breath and ask yourself, what if this is exactly how things are meant to be? What if this challenge is here to teach you something? What if this setback is redirecting you to something better? When you approach life with this mindset, nothing can truly upset you anymore. Now, let's talk about releasing emotional baggage. Many people carry the weight of past pain, regret, and resentment. They relive old wounds over and over, trapped in a cycle of suffering. But here's the truth. The past only exists in your mind. It has no power unless you keep bringing it back to life. Imagine you are carrying a heavy backpack filled with painful memories and grudges. Every step you take, the weight slows you down. Now, picture yourself putting that backpack down, taking a deep breath, and walking away. Feel how light and free you become. This is what happens when you let go. Holding on to pain doesn't make you strong. It makes you stuck. True strength comes from releasing what no longer serves you. Many people think that letting go means weakness, but in reality, holding on to pain is what weakens you. It drains your energy, steals your joy, and keeps you from moving forward. Forgiveness, both for yourself and others, is not about condoning bad behavior. It's about freeing yourself from the burden of the past. And here's something most people never realize. Your mind is your greatest enemy or your greatest ally. The way you think shapes your reality. If you constantly dwell on negativity, you will create a life full of negativity. But if you train your mind to seek wisdom, peace, and growth, your life will reflect that. Training the mind requires daily practice. You wouldn't expect to get physically strong by going to the gym once. The same applies to mental and emotional strength. Meditation, mindfulness, gratitude, these are not things you do once in a while. They must become part of your lifestyle. Start small. Every morning, before you check your phone, take a moment of stillness. Close your eyes. Breathe deeply. Set the intention that no matter what happens today, you will remain calm, centered, and unshaken. This simple habit, when repeated daily, rewires your brain. Over time, you will notice that things that once triggered you no longer affect you the same way. Another practice that will change your life is watching your thoughts without identifying with them. Most people believe they are their thoughts, but you are not your thoughts. You are the observer of them. Just because a negative thought appears does not mean you have to believe it. Instead, treat thoughts like passing clouds. Observe them, but don't attach to them. Here's a powerful truth. The strongest person in the room is not the one who speaks the loudest, but the one who remains calm in the face of chaos. People who are easily triggered, who react with anger, who constantly seek validation, they are controlled by their emotions. But those who have mastered their emotions move through life with grace. Emotional mastery is not about never feeling emotions. It's about not letting emotions control you. You can feel anger without becoming consumed by it. You can feel sadness without drowning in it. You can experience joy without fearing that it will end. Imagine being in a heated argument, but instead of reacting, you simply pause and observe. You feel the surge of emotion, but you do not act on it. Instead, you respond with wisdom, not impulse. That single moment of control is true power. But how do you build this kind of power? Through daily discipline, through constantly choosing peace over reaction, through training yourself to pause before responding, through mastering the art of silence. The more you practice, the stronger you become. And when you reach this level of mastery, something extraordinary happens. You become untouchable, not in an arrogant way, but in a deeply peaceful way. Insults lose their sting. Setbacks no longer break you. You move through life like a mountain, unshaken by the winds of change. This is not just philosophy. This is a way of life, a way of being, a path that leads to true freedom. And it is available to you right now. You don't have to wait for some future moment to find peace. You don't have to wait for your life to be perfect. You can choose peace now. You can choose to master your emotions now. And the moment you make that choice, your life begins to transform. Imagine waking up tomorrow with the unshakable confidence that nothing, not insults, not failures, not even heartbreak, can disturb your inner peace. Imagine the freedom that comes from no longer being a slave to your emotions. Imagine the power of walking through life calm, centered, and unstoppable. This is what true mastery looks like, and it is yours if you choose it. Most people live as prisoners of their emotions, reacting to every insult, every setback, every challenge as if they have no control. They let anger consume them. They let fear paralyze them. They let sadness dictate their days. But what if you could break free from this cycle? What if you could become so strong inside that nothing, absolutely nothing, could shake you? This level of control is not only possible, it is the key to true freedom. Freedom from suffering, freedom from emotional turmoil, freedom from the need for external validation. And it begins with one simple but powerful realization. You are not your emotions. You are the master of them. When you understand this, you stop living as a slave to how you feel in the moment. You no longer allow fleeting emotions to dictate your actions. You no longer allow someone else's words to determine your peace. You no longer allow failure to define your worth. Instead, you take back your power. You become the observer, the master, the one who chooses how to respond to life rather than merely reacting to it. But to reach this level of mastery, you must train your mind. Just as a warrior sharpens his sword, you must sharpen your mental discipline. And one of the greatest tools for this is mindful awareness, the ability to step back and observe yourself in real time. The next time you feel a surge of anger or sadness, instead of acting on it, pause. Take a deep breath. Watch the emotion like an outsider, rather than identifying with it. Ask yourself, what is this feeling trying to teach me? By shifting from reaction to observation, you break free from the grip of uncontrolled emotions. Now, let's talk about one of the most powerful traits you can develop: unshakable composure. In a world where people explode at the slightest inconvenience, where emotions rule over logic, where tempers flare over meaningless things, the ability to remain calm in chaos is a superpower. Think of the most powerful figures in history: Buddha, the great sages, the enlightened masters. Did they react emotionally to criticism? Did they break down when things didn't go their way? Number, they remained calm, centered, poised, because they understood that true strength is not in aggression, it is in stillness. When you cultivate unshakable composure, you become a force that nothing can move. Arguments lose their power over you. Insults become meaningless. The ups and downs of life no longer dictate your happiness. You remain rooted, steady, at peace. And the best part? People around you will begin to sense this energy. They will respect you. They will admire your strength, because deep down, everyone craves this level of control. But how do you develop this? Through practice, through constant awareness, through training yourself day by day to choose peace over reaction, silence over argument, wisdom over impulse. The more you practice, the more natural it becomes. Until one day, you realize nothing disturbs you anymore. Here's another key to emotional mastery. Stop expecting life to be easy. Many people suffer because they resist reality. They think life should be fair, people should always be kind, and things should always go as planned. But this is not how life works. The truth is, life is unpredictable. People can be cruel. Things will not always go your way. And if you resist this truth, you will suffer. The solution? Accept life as it is, not as you think it should be. Accept that challenges will come. Accept that people will disappoint you. Accept that things will sometimes fall apart. And when you accept this, something amazing happens. You stop being surprised by hardship, and you start becoming prepared for it. Imagine a warrior going into battle. Does he complain that the battlefield is dangerous? Does he get emotional when the enemy strikes? Number, he expects it. He prepares for it. And because of that, he remains composed, focused, ready. You must approach life the same way. Instead of resisting hardship, train yourself to handle it. Instead of wishing for a smooth road, strengthen yourself to walk any path. One of the most life-changing practices you can adopt is seeing obstacles as opportunities. Instead of asking, "Why is this happening to me?" ask, "What is this teaching me?" Every setback carries a lesson. Every betrayal makes you wiser. Every difficulty is sharpening you, strengthening you, preparing you for something greater. But most people don't see this. They complain. They dwell on the negative. They let challenges break them instead of build them. Don't be like most people. Be the one who uses every difficulty as fuel for growth. Be the one who sees every challenge as a stepping stone toward wisdom. And remember this: no one can take your peace unless you hand it to them. People can insult you. They can betray you. They can try to bring you down. But they cannot touch your inner peace unless you let them. The moment you realize this, you become untouchable. This doesn't mean you suppress your emotions. It means you master them. It means you acknowledge them, but you do not let them control you. It means you remain centered, aware, in control of your reactions. And when you live this way, life becomes easier. Not because the world changes, but because you have changed. Imagine waking up every morning with the confidence that nothing can disturb your inner world. Imagine moving through your day with a deep sense of calm, no matter what happens. Imagine facing criticism, failure, or hardship, and feeling completely unshaken. This is not a dream. This is the reality of emotional mastery, and it is available to you if you are willing to train your mind, discipline your emotions, and commit to inner peace. This is what true power looks like. And this is what you are meant for. There comes a point in life when you must decide. Will you be controlled by the chaos of the world, or will you rise above it? Most people live as puppets, pulled in every direction by emotions, by circumstances, by the opinions of others. They react instead of respond. They allow their inner peace to be shattered at the slightest insult, the smallest inconvenience, the tiniest obstacle. But there is another way to live. A way where you remain in control, unshaken, untouchable, where nothing, no person, no event, no failure can steal your peace. This is the path of mastery. And to walk this path, you must first understand this. Every reaction is a choice. You may not control what happens to you, but you always control how you respond. You always have the power to decide whether an insult will bother you, whether failure will define you, whether negativity will enter your heart. The weak allow themselves to be ruled by emotions. The strong master their emotions. The weak let the world dictate how they feel. The strong dictate their own emotional state. Which one do you choose to be? If you want to master your emotions, the first step is awareness. Most people go through life reacting on autopilot. Someone says something rude, and they instantly feel offended. They fail at something, and they immediately feel like a failure. But the key to emotional control is pausing before reacting. The next time you feel anger, sadness, or frustration rising, stop. Take a deep breath. Observe the feeling. Instead of immediately acting on it, ask yourself, do I want to give this power over me? Most of the time, the answer is no. Now here's something that will change your life. Not every thought that enters your mind is true. Most people believe everything they think. They believe their fears. They believe their doubts. They believe the voice in their head that tells them they are not good enough. But your thoughts are just patterns, most of them conditioned by society, past experiences, and insecurities. You do not have to believe every thought that arises. Instead, question them, challenge them, and most importantly, replace them with thoughts that serve you, not destroy you. Here's an exercise. Every time a negative thought appears, don't fight it. Simply observe it, detach from it, and replace it with something empowering. For example, if your mind tells you, I'm not strong enough for this, replace it with, I am growing stronger every day. If your mind says, this is too hard, replace it with, this is training me for something greater. Over time, this rewires your brain. And eventually, negative thoughts lose their grip on you. Another secret to unshakable peace is understanding that people's actions are a reflection of them, not you. When someone insults you, when they betray you, when they try to bring you down, it says everything about their inner world and nothing about yours. A person who is at peace does not attack others. A person who is fulfilled does not spread negativity. So when someone tries to hurt you, instead of taking it personally, see it for what it is, a reflection of their pain, not your worth. Now let's talk about a principle that will set you free. Let go of the need for approval. One of the biggest traps people fall into is constantly seeking validation from others. They want to be liked. They want to be accepted. They want everyone to approve of them. But the moment you seek external validation, you give away your power. You allow others to control your self-worth. Understand this. You do not need permission to be confident. You do not need approval to be at peace. The strongest people are not the ones who are loved by everyone. They are the ones who stand firm in who they are, whether they are praised or criticized. The next time you find yourself worrying about what others think, remind yourself, their opinions do not define me. My worth is internal, unshaken, untouchable. And here's another truth that will change your perspective. You do not need to respond to everything. Not every insult needs a reply. Not every argument needs your energy. Not every negative situation deserves your attention. Choose where you place your energy wisely, because where your focus goes, your power flows. Think of your energy as a currency. Would you waste money on things that bring you no value? Number. So why waste your mental energy on things that do not serve you? The next time someone tries to provoke you, ask yourself, is this worth my peace? Most of the time, the answer will be no. And in that moment, you will realize the power of silence, the power of walking away, the power of not letting anything disturb your inner world. One of the most powerful mindsets you can adopt is this: nothing is personal. When people betray you, when they disappoint you, when they do things that hurt, it is not because you were not good enough. It is because they were operating from their own fears, their own wounds, their own limitations. The moment you stop taking things personally, you become unshakable. But emotional mastery is not just about defense. It is also about offense. It is not just about avoiding negativity. It is about creating inner strength. And one of the most effective ways to do this is by choosing discomfort on purpose. Most people avoid discomfort. They stay in their comfort zones. They run from difficulty. But here's the truth. Discomfort is where growth happens. If you always seek comfort, you will always remain weak. If you always avoid hard things, you will never develop the strength to handle life's challenges. So train yourself to embrace discomfort. Push yourself beyond your limits. Seek challenges instead of avoiding them, because every time you face something difficult, every time you push through resistance, you become stronger. And eventually, the things that once scared you no longer have power over you. Imagine two people. One always avoids hardship, avoids failure, avoids struggle. The other constantly challenges themselves, constantly pushes past their limits, constantly seeks to grow. Who do you think will be stronger? Who do you think will be unshakable in the face of life's storms? Strength is built. Resilience is trained. And if you want to be truly free, if you want to be truly powerful, you must be willing to do what most people won't. This is the path to emotional mastery. A path where you are no longer ruled by emotions, where you are no longer a puppet of circumstances, where you dictate your inner world no matter what happens around you. It is a path of deep inner peace, of unshakable confidence, of absolute freedom. And the best part, It is available to you right now, if you are willing to commit to it. Most people live their lives trying to control everything: their circumstances, other people's opinions, the way life unfolds. But what if I told you that true power comes not from control, but from surrender? Not surrender in the sense of giving up, but surrender in the sense of trusting the flow of life, letting go of resistance, and embracing each moment as it is. Think about the times you've suffered the most. Was it because of what actually happened? Or was it because you resisted what was happening? The truth is, resistance creates suffering. The more you fight against reality, the more you struggle. But the moment you let go, the moment you accept what is, a deep sense of peace washes over you. This is the art of radical acceptance, fully embracing life as it is, not as you think it should be. It means understanding that every experience, every hardship, every delay is part of your growth. It means realizing that you are exactly where you need to be, learning exactly what you need to learn. But most people resist this truth. They cling to expectations. They fight against change. They try to force life to happen on their terms. And in doing so, they create their own suffering. Imagine you're holding a rope and someone is pulling on the other end, creating tension. The harder you pull back, the more painful it becomes. But the moment you let go, the tension disappears. This is how life works. The more you hold on to control, the more suffering you create. But the moment you surrender and trust, peace takes over. Now, surrender doesn't mean inaction. It doesn't mean you stop striving for your goals. It means that you take action, but detach from the results. You do your best, but you remain at peace with whatever happens. This mindset is what separates those who are constantly stressed from those who move through life with ease.